Centrul medical Barzila este cel mai apropiat spital de orașul Ashkelon, atacat furibund de mai multe ori de teroriștii Hamas. Aici ajung răniți în stare extrem de gravă, pentru că apoi să fie triați și redirecționați spre alte spitale din Israel. Medicul Tal Bergman, unul dintre directorii spitalului, a vorbit cu Eugenia Foarfecă, jurnalist Focus. Acest spital a fost lovit de bombe încă din prima zi a războiului, de sâmbătă. Cei de aici continuă să salveze vieți pe bandă rulantă, deși în acel moment spitalul a fost distrus în mare măsură. Atenție, urmează imagini și detalii care vă pot afecta emoțional.
Tal Bergman este psihiatru și unul dintre directorii Centrului Medical Barzilai, situat în Ashkelon, zona aflată sub asediul teroriștilor Hamas. Echipele medicale au tratat aici sute de răniți în stare gravă. Până la spital e un drum de numai câteva minute până la kibuțurile atacate masiv, acolo unde sunt comunități întregi de israelieni.
Since Saturday we have been working tremendously in a very difficult way. Treating a lot of injured civilians, injured police officers and injured soldiers. So we're the closest spot to these areas. Well, we have seen about 500 injured people. Some of them, of course, we had to transfer to other medical centers because this is the way you actually do that. Because when you get this much injuries and injured people, you want to get them to the operating room as soon as possible. So you keep only a small part of them, which you cannot transfer because they're not stable hemodynamically, and then you turn them. You turn them to other hospitals in the center of the country.
Nu e prima dată când au fost atacuri ale Hamas, iar cei din spital au mai avut de-a face cu astfel de situații de criză. Niciodată însă atacurile nu au avut amploarea de acum. Aici lucrează de obicei câteva sute de doctori în ture, dar în această situație de urgență mulți au rămas în spital.
By any means, anything we've ever seen, okay? I've never ever saw anything like that in Israel. We have to keep the staff here, especially these days, in order to give the proper treatment if something happens. I want to hope that we won't have the situation we had here on Saturday, because it was absolutely awful. No words will ever describe properly what I have been through with all the staff here. It has been absolutely, first of all, to see all these wounded people and families and children and mothers that can't find their children, and they're just coming from, walking from one hospital to another, visiting the hospital, asking, have you seen my daughter? Have you seen my son?
Medicul Tal Bergman a povestit jurnaliștilor Focus și ce a mărturisit o femeie care a supraviețuit masacrului de la un festival unde erau mii de tineri.
She was telling me that she was attacked from 8 different places, and when they started running because they knew that they were in danger, people just chased them as though they were animals, to be massacred or to be slaughtered like animals, like a hunting expedition. And it was absolutely awful. People came with very severe multiple organs injuries. And it was very hard physically, but very, very hard emotionally for them and for us, for the staff.
Medicul e convins că oamenii din Israel vor rămâne profund marcați de tot ce se întâmplă.
I work with PTSD patients, with post-traumatic patients. I think we're going to see a lot of a huge rise in post-traumatic people after this. Mm-hmm. I think there's also a very big question of trust. And it's not the time, but eventually we'll have to understand what really happened here that enabled this kind of attack. I think most of the Israelis are peace-inspiring people. We are not a nation I don't think we are a nation of wars. I don't think we are, very aggressive people. I think we just want to have our country, and we just want to live in peace like every other person in Europe or other parts of the world. But I think that I don't feel safe in a term of, safety as a whole, as a nation.
Medicul a povestit și cum se pune la adăpost în momentul în care zona este atacată de rachete.
As a person, I do my best to feel safe. I drive my car, and every time there's a missile, I stop my car, I go to lie on the floor in the side of the road. I have my security place in my house. I teach my children not to open the door to foreigners and to be safe. But, you know, some things are not within our own control.
Medicul Bergman nu-și poate stăpâni furia. Cuvântul teroare nu ajunge pentru a descrie tot ce s-a întâmplat.
At the beginning, we really didn't understand what was happening. And I think that even if we understood, we couldn't really believe that someone can actually harm women and children like that and civilians like that. This is not just terror. I don't have a word for this kind of terror. This is cruelty and sadism, and there are no words to describe what I feel when I see all those images here in the hospital when we were doing the triage on the first day.
Spitalul a fost lovit de o rachetă chiar în prima noapte de război și a fost distrus aproape jumătate, iar astăzi, în a 5-a zi de război, încă o rachetă a lovit ambulatoriul spitalului, unde erau tratați foarte mulți copii. Din fericire, clinica de îngrijiri de zi era închisă în momentul în care a căzut racheta. Medicii au decis să închidă serviciile din ambulator tocmai pentru a limita numărul victimelor.